Good morning, guys. Welcome to another video. My name is Joe Mills and this is of course Digging for Dinner. Now in this video I just wanted to touch on a few allotment site related points and the fact that I've just got off the phone to the council, or the part of the council that runs this site in specific, and I just made them aware of my plans to basically take these trees right down while they're still dormant. I need to do it, guys. You know, if I could have done it a month sooner I would have done. But the guy told me that I wasn't allowed to touch them despite them being on my allotment plot. Now, I've spoken to the council and I just said, I just want to tidy it up. That's all I want to do, you know. I said that we won best allotment in our first year of being here and having 2 allotment plots, and that we want to continue improving the allotments and making them more usable. She totally agreed. She said that this allotment site as a whole is very clean and tidy. You know, there's no unworked plots. I was shocked, absolutely shocked. So I just said, like, have you visited this site? She said, oh no, not for a while. She said, because we never get an email saying that we sort of need to come down. So I couldn't help myself, guys. I'm not one to moan, don't get me wrong, but I mentioned that pile of rubbish next to my allotment plot and the fact that the rats live in it, and he just keeps adding to it. And I also mentioned the fly tip plot, which is what I've come to call it. Which is the plot opposite mine, next to the guy with the polytunnel, who I think is a commercial rubbish clearance man or a gardener, and he doesn't go to the tip, instead he comes here. So she asked me how much of his allotment plot was cultivated, and I said none, because you can't get on it. And again, I'm not one to moan, I just said, but I was talking about this specifically, but then she started asking me more questions because she was enlightened by the fact that there's actually unworked plots here. Not only unworked plots, but household rubbish. Recently, behind the lockers and on a couple of allotment plots, there's been barbecues dumped, mattresses, pillows, carpet, prams, household waste that is getting dumped on the allotment plots by the people who are paying their fee. Now, there's meant to be a committee member every certain number of plots, and then there's another one, and then I've only ever met Mike, who's a committee member, but the lady at the council has never heard of him, so that was a bit confusing. So Mike told me that he'd taken photos of the plots and sent them on, but she said she'd never had an email. So how was she supposed to know that that was as bad as it was? When I opened my shed door today, there was rats inside there, in my potting shed. There's no food or anything in there at all, so they was just getting out the cold, really. And when I sort of scared them off, they ran straight into that pile, and all you could hear was that squeak that they make. And you can tell there's quite a few in there. So I did mention that the council came down yesterday and put some rat traps down, which are obviously not doing the job, but she wasn't aware of the rubbish. She said she looked up his number and she said he's never had a warning. She looked up fly tips plot and said he's never had a warning. She said the reason for that is because we don't know about it. We don't know about the issues on there. That's why it's the least visited site. So I just said that I want to tidy up this border. The guys told me that I can't. I'm going to do it anyway. You know, you guys are behind me as well, which is fantastic. And we're just going to neaten it up. And she said, even if they won on your allotment plot, you know, we'd be happy for you to do that because you're improving it. So that was just absolutely great to hear, guys. But, she had no idea, absolutely no idea about the amount of rubbish that gets tipped here and the number of rats. Now, obviously, it's an allotment plot. You're going to get rats. We're growing food. She said, we don't give allotment plots out to people to not work them. I said, well, that's why there's waiting lists. And that's exactly true, guys. We do have waiting lists, very long waiting lists. And she was under the impression that every single plot here was worked. Now that's not worked. And the one opposite me is not worked. And there's quite a few more that's not worked. That's not my issue. My issue is directly next door to me. It's the rubbish and the rats, and obviously the trees. So yeah, I mean, she gave me permission to get to work, but she's also said she set the wheels in motion to come and have a plot or a site inspection, because no one has ever reached out to her before and told her about some of the issues that's on the site. And she said she was aware that we won best allotment plot and that I'm not moaning about it, you know, the messy plots and things. It's just down to the fact that I feel a little bit annoyed that there's waiting lists and people are allowed to just use it as a dumping ground. Guys, the local tip is less than a mile from here, less than a mile, and they drive here to tip, so they could just drive there to tip. Now, a lot of the people come across to be like quite commercial, and obviously you do have to pay to tip commercial waste, which is probably why they come here, because as many people have already told me on this site who also feel annoyed by the amount of waste, is that it's cheaper to pay £50 a year to have an allotment site here and dump your waste than it would be to go to the dump weekly or fortnightly. And unfortunately that's true, and unless this place is inspected, they're never going to know, because whoever the committee is here, they're not doing a very good job at kind of managing it. And it seems that I had to wait 3 years to get an allotment plot here. There was a guy who had to wait 7 years to get an allotment plot here. And guys, an allotment plot is for growing food. It's for not just for growing food, but to have an environment you can escape to. And you guys know how much it helps me with my mental health, having a garden that we can come to and improve and learn as we go, and do some woodwork and experiment with what we like growing. And at the end, getting food. That is what an allotment plot is for. It's everybody knows that's what it's for. I've just given myself more work by sorting out all the trees, tidying them all up, cutting them all back, digging the border, turning it over, you know, to get rid of a lot of the grass really. We're just going to mulch it upside down, and then we're going to go on with our no-dig approach that we do on all the beds here on Digging for Dinner, or I do. And guys, what it led on to is a conversation about me joining the committee. Obviously, I was quite reluctant in the beginning, but learning that there isn't much of one anyway, she kind of wanted me on board. So I don't really see an issue with joining it. I mean, whether or not they swear me in is a different story, because I'm not sure who's on it. I think a couple of the people who have shown jealousy towards me and hate towards me because I've done quite well in a year, I think they might be on the committee. I'm not 100% sure, I'm just speculating. So yeah, if they don't swear me in, it's just a sign of jealousy really. And I just, you know, just have to go through the council whenever I've got an issue, like when my water tank burst and it was flooding out this part of my allotment plot. You're supposed to go to a committee member in that example, or phone the number that is on the water tank. But quite a few people here struggle to speak English or don't speak English. And there's been quite a few times where someone's run over to me and has given me his phone and was pointing at the actual water tank, and I've kind of gone, what's going on? Oh, you want me to phone for you? And it was like, yes, thank you. So I mean, guys, that's what a committee is for, right? You should be helping, you should be making the allotment site better. It's not about moaning, you know. We looked at an allotment site in the new area where we live. I think I mentioned in the video that one of the guys said, if you've got a single weed on your allotment plot, you're off. And I said, what do you mean if you've got a single weed? He said, yeah, you heard me. If you've got a single weed on your allotment plot, you're gone. That's not what it's about at all. You're going to get weeds, you know. But a committee is, I don't know, should I join? I doubt they'll swear me in. A lot of people who have seen what I've done on here no longer talk to me, you know. Just the way it is, you know. Doesn't bother me anymore, guys. It really don't, you know. I get a lot of discrimination and have had to deal with a lot of discrimination, hatred, jealousy and things like that. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I couldn't if I tried. But no, I am going to obviously state the facts that some people that did used to speak to me no longer speak to me and avoid me, which is just their loss. Let's just say it how it is. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. But you know, if I can get that looked at, because she said he's never had a warning, you know, I'd help him clear it. I'd help him tidy it. I would help work his allotment plot. You know, I really would, and I've done it many times before. If you followed the channel, you'll know that hard work I don't shy away from. So yeah, it's not about moaning and getting people in trouble. As I said on the phone, she was laughing. She was really laughing. She was just like, I know it's not. She said, you're making us aware of, you know, issues that we wasn't ordinarily aware of. And then she asked me if I could give the committee the correct email address, because I emailed her recently about my locker having a leak and the fact that I can't use it, and I don't really want to be paying for it if I can't use it. And you know, we found the right email address in 2 minutes. So yeah, I don't know who the committee is to be telling them the right email, you know. So yeah, without moaning, when they do their inspections, I mean, I'm going to have to get my allotment plots a little bit tidy, just for my own peace of mind, really. I mean, they're not bad at all. We ain't probably got anything to worry about, let's be honest. But I doubt he's going to want to get rid of it. There's quite a lot of stuff at the back. Computer desks, office chairs, a microwave. I ran the old allotment site with Kelly, just the two of us, for quite a long time, and that was a very big site with a lot of people again that didn't really like me. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but guys, you know me, all I want is for people to be able to have really nice gardens, whatever they class as really nice, you know, even if it's just a patch of dirt, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't need polytunnels, raised beds and sheds. We just make it posh on Digging for Dinner. I mean, it does help, and it does aid in getting better results when growing food, don't get me wrong. It really does. But yeah, I mean, anyone struggling, I'd always help out. Anybody, you know, even if they were quite rude to me, you know, don't touch my trees, that kind of attitude, I'll still help. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'll always help somebody who needs help, you know, if it's something I can help with, you know. So yeah, we'll see. They're now going to do their inspections. The lady I spoke to is going to join them because she was absolutely gobsmacked to hear about the fly tipping behind the lockers and on the allotment plots, and the fact that the rats are so rife. Even in this weather, their numbers are increasing dramatically. So it was just a bit of a shock, really, that she didn't know anything. She said it's our least visited site because we only ever hear good things. And I did say, you know, 99% of people get their head down and they work. I said there's a lot of old people here, male and female, that don't mind digging, and I've been here all day, you know, 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening before now, and they've been here when I've got here and they've stayed when I've left. So they do work. And I said, and some of the allotment plots are solely just about coming down and growing food. They don't have sheds, they don't have chairs, they just dig, you know, grow their food, and they go home. And you know, I did say I don't want to put a downer on this site because it is an amazing site. It really is, with hard-working people who use the allotment plots, you know, for their intended purposes, which is obviously something we should all be singing about, because you know, there are waiting lists, and I've had a few people message me over the years saying that they're on waiting lists for allotment plots, and that they've gone down to their local site and they've peered through the fence and they've kind of gone, oh, there's quite a few that look available, you know, that have just gone to absolute crap, you know, 6 foot tall with weeds or brambles, and haven't changed in a year. Yet when they phone up or email, they still get told that everyone's paid up. So that's one of the things that niggles with me, because even now I get a lot of messages from people saying that they're on waiting lists and they're watching the progress here on my channel and they're getting inspired, but they don't have a garden. And you know, when you can see around you plots going to crap, it is frustrating. You know, life's short, and you know, every year that goes by, people sometimes lose encouragement and lose hope, and when they do get an allotment plot, you know, it can kind of seem like there's too much work and like the moment's passed, which is really disappointing. I've spoken to 1 or 2 people who told me that they were on waiting lists for over 10 years and they just lost the will with it, and they just said, you know what, sod it, we'll do something else. And that's exactly what they've done. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. I just wanted to fill you in. I'm not sure if I will join the committee. Like I say, I'm not sure if they'll swear me in. I try to be as honest with you guys on my videos. I mean, this channel and the ideas that I come up with for this channel get copied on a weekly basis, and then some of the channels go to the extent of blocking me after they've got the ideas. So it's kind of just how life goes sometimes. You've just got to keep smiling and you just got to get on with it, really. So this is something that I wanted your opinion on. I mean, I got no thanks at the last allotment site for doing the amount of work we've done. We built the allotment shop, we stocked it, we cleared plots. You know, me and Kelly worked our fingers down to the bone day and night, and then we got kicked off. So guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not an idiot. You know, I'm no one's fool. I learn, you know, I do learn where to put my time, where it's going to be best spent. And you know, to be honest, if anyone needs help here, like I think I've already said, then obviously I'll help them, but I would never go to the extent that we did on the last plot, where we're doing everything single-handedly. I've mentioned in the past, guys, that community spirit on allotment plots is kind of dead. It's not what it used to be. I know some people do still have it, but as a whole, when you watch TV programs or you hear on the radio that get an allotment, the community, you know, you'll make friends, it get you outdoors, it's amazing, you know, a brilliant bunch of people. It can be, but to get them all on the same site, it is a bit of a struggle, let's be honest. So guys, that's all I wanted to say really. Guys, it's turned into a bit of a long video, but guys, that's all I wanted to say really. I'll let you know what the email says, and if we join the committee, if anything, we can just help tidy this place up a little bit. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening to me talk for about 20 minutes. I'm now going to get to work doing the trees, building my fence, continuing with the compost build, and about 25 other projects that I've currently got going on. I've got to get working. It's 12:15 now, guys, so I've got to get stuck into the work. My coffee's now gone cold. I spoke for too long. So guys, let me know in the comments if you think me joining a committee again would be a wise idea. And also let me know what your committee does when you get plots that are still being paid up but not worked. This one hasn't been worked in 3 years. I mean, he's done a little bit and then you don't see him again. And it's kind of obvious that he's doing the little bit so that no one kicks him off. Look, if he needs help, I'll help him. Cheers guys, I'll see you in the next one.